All right, everyone. Welcome back for another episode on Steaks with Mates podcast for the people, by the people. And today I am joined by a special guest. Now, this guest of mine, she is part of a Carnivore coaches group that I'm involved in as well, run by Simon from How to Carnivore. And she is the lovely Aviva. So, welcome, Aviva, to this podcast episode.
Thank you for having me, Jove.
Well, it's such a pleasure to have you here. Now, a little bit of uh, backstory with Aviva. She's been on the carnivore diet now for is it a couple of months? Is that correct, or
I
close to a
started
year?
carnivore last year. I went
Last
for
year, yeah.
whole full carnivore, which is also without the coffee for 100
Mm,
days. And after that, I don't know how to troubleshooting. So I
mm.
just started to adding back fruit and vegetable. Of course, adding back coffee first. And it wasn't a
Oh,
difference at the time.
mm,
So
mm.
after that, just in the animal base. Since that, I already
Ah,
eating a lot of meat, which is
perfect.
it's healing a lot of things already. But now I am back on full carnivore, and today is 42 days.
Day 42 and counting. So, look, we're gonna go through a bit of a timeline here, Aviva. Tell us about what your life was like before the carnivore diet, leading up to it, and also what you've experienced on the carnivore diet. So take us back as far as you want to go.
So I think we have an instinct of what's the food that our body like when we are very, very young.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a good story. I just gonna start with that. Um, about I think it's 8 years old, maybe 8 years old. I cannot recall which is like first grade or second grade. And there is one day I just don't want to eat rice. And my mom always tried to push me, and she was off to do something else. So I wrapped the rice into a tissue paper and wrap it, and then put it into the deep, deep trash can. And I thought my mom won't see it. And then there is one, I think a couple hours later, she come to find that trash can and then say, "Here, you eat it." I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know if I did ate it, but I really didn't like rice at the very get go. And
That's
later on,
interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
interesting.
I think I always into more meat. And in the beginning, I was very looking good. I'm very healthy. I always go back to look at my photos, and I was a happy. I was a looking good girls. And
Mm,
later on, the older we are, we build up what we eat with the families and what friends going out. And in Taiwan's tradition, oh, pork is everywhere,
mm,
and rice, noodles is everywhere. And
mm,
the night market, everything is all about carb. There
mm,
is very little about vegetable, fruit, which is the good thing, or meat. Beef wasn't a big thing in Taiwan, although there is more expensive at the time.
mm.
And my family doesn't eat beef, so we don't introduce any beef at all. So that was beginning, and later on, I starting to watch those foodie TV show, and I start to binge on the sweet buns or those bread that
Yeah.
I will buy 10 of them and then eat them in a day. Or donut for five in a day. I really right away. And which just lead me to my family negative thoughts that, oh, you're big. And I immediately it just washed me away. And I do no fat, no oil, no meat diet, which is, it's really draining my body. I think my body just decreased right at that moment. I run at night because I really want to lose those weight. So after that, my mom always thinking I am a little autism, because I do feel the difference that when we didn't have the proper diet, how much it affects our mood, our body. Now I didn't know there is a things we can change in diet to make us feel that much better. So that was at the time. And later on, I always try to save money. I can spend only 30 Taiwanese dollar, which is $1 US dollar a day. Just try to eat vegetable and noodles, oatmeal, you name it. Oh, we think it's healthy food, or normal food. And in the college, I realized I am allergic to pork. It just, my reaction is terrible on the pork. Finally, I find out. And so I take that out and I eat mostly fish and grain, but I'm still very puffy at the time. I don't think that was still optimal. I eat whatever is very healthy. And then later on, I think I feel my best start from keto, which is cut up all the carb. That's really a game changer, but people around me will still say, no carb, really? Not even a pizza or something? No. And my body doesn't crave. Well, I do crave for alcohol sometimes. That's some things, addictions that although I'm not like super addicted, I'm just need 1 or 2 per day.
Yeah.
That's what I see my family is growing up. But now I'm in the carnivore since last year. I do know I completely craving free out of anything when I'm all in carnivore.
Amazing. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far, but before we get back into it, I really want to talk about something I think is very important for health and longevity, and it's about adult stem cells. Did you know that adult stem cells are essential for the repair and renew of damaged and old cells in your body? But here's the catch. As you age, the number of adult stem cells in your circulation decreases. By age of 35, your natural release of adult stem cells can drop up to 45%. By 50, it can drop as much as 50%. And by 65, it can plummet by up to 90%. Fortunately though, there is a solution. There is a product out there in the market that naturally increases the amount of adult stem cells that circulate in your bloodstream. It's by a company called Cerule, and the magical product is called Stem Enhance Ultra. And there's also a bunch of amazing products that Cerule offer that help with the migration of adult stem cells. Now, to check this out for yourself, go click the link below that I'll provide in the video description. And I should also note that you can get your products for free. So check it out. And with that, let's get back to the show. I really do want to get into that as well with addictions, because we were talking about coffee before we went live on this recording. Now, but a couple of things first. Let's pinpoint these things in your timeline. When did, how old are you, first of all, if you don't mind sharing?
32.
32. And when did you start this, I guess, the ketogenic, this way of eating?
I think I vaguely start from 2018, which is
18?
Where the bulletproof coffee start to kick in.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, that was a big hit. And
yes, it was.
And started to incorporate that. And actually, I feel good. But later on, because the noise around me just like, you need carb, so I back into it, and later on I do my own research, and then I'm just go all into keto, and I feel great, but will feel tired at night because I will go a lot of vegetable. I
Hmm.
go lots of vegetable is my food group, the bottom line.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that's the thing with keto as well. Because just with my experience, I learned about keto, and the thing that it focused on was really just about fat intake. And so it didn't really, there was no emphasis on eating meat and animal products, although it wasn't, they say it wasn't out of the picture. So I think a lot of people fall into the trap with keto on eating vegetables, foods that are high in fiber, which really, now that we know more about, meat and animal products through what we learn on the carnivore diet, you realize that you're not really getting much nutrients from the plant foods, and also the energy, because yes, you need fats, but saturated fats that fuel you with animal meat is really, in my experience, it really was the big energy hit that I noticed, because when I tried keto, I didn't get the, how they're saying when you get fat adapted, you get a lot of energy. I didn't get that with keto. I got that with carnivore. When I went carnivore, I felt like Superman. And then I said, oh, this is what fat adapted means. Yeah.
um,
Yeah, that's it.
so I want to say, when I was in keto, I only be able to eat fish. Just in my case, fish with vegetable.
Mm,
I
yeah.
cannot eat chicken with vegetable. I cannot eat beef, anything with protein
Really?
with the vegetable. And people say
Okay.
you need more protein, you need more protein, but
Yeah.
I just couldn't. It just my guts is just it will make mess it up. So and now finally it just some things around the fiber and me just fighting each other, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Um, yeah. And also another thing in your timeline was, at such a young age, you were, uh, I guess in the Asian culture, food wastage is a huge thing. And your story about your mom throwing with you throwing the rice in the bin, and then them getting to, saying, you got to eat it. That is such a huge thing that I want to share to people was, I know for sure that my parents went through periods where they were told, don't waste food. And so they told us, the children, don't waste food. Um, but what people need to realize is that, during that generation, of course, they had moments of starvation. My parents would tell me, oh, sometimes we didn't have food on the table. Sometimes we only had rice. So that was their culture. That was their generation where they had to live off whatever was available.
Yeah, and there
Mm.
is a saying like each rice is so it's working pretty hard to be able to have that single rice.
Mm.
But we do I do notice that, but I can do that for meat now. I just clean up very
Mm.
well. And
Yeah.
ironic is my mom now, we are still good together, but
Yes.
um she is the ones that have the waste food now. So I say, here you go. Now, should I let you eat it or just let you
Yeah.
go?
Is
Just
that I
trying to
can?
teasing her.
Yeah, you remember that time when I was a. Oh, that's so funny. But we'll get into the culture, uh, around rice eating in a bit. Now, back to the carnivore diet. What made you decide? What made you decide to go carnivore? Because, that's a pretty big shift from having vegetables to no vegetables.
Yeah. I lost my period at the time only half year.
Okay.
And I have been always have problems on menstrual cycle, which is
Mm-hmm.
sometimes 7 months, sometimes 8 months since the first day I ever got my period. So that's something bigger things I want to heal. So that's why I start to look up a lot of videos, and I just find out that, and I was like, it's worth to try. And I love meat. So
Mm,
yeah, just but it's harder to get rid of vegetable in the beginning, but once I starting to adding, actually your body starting to push it. Your body start to give you like, I don't need it. I don't want it.
mm,
I think
mm,
it just very organically that your body just telling you what is I feel good, what doesn't feel good.
mm. That I totally agree with you. Yeah, yeah. But when you decided to go carnivore, let's talk about the initial experience and what were the benefits overall that you think you got out of it?
Yeah, there is a big change about my color. I used to
Mm-hmm.
very pale. My hand was not pink like this kind
Mm,
of probably more like that wood color.
mm,
It just completely changing, and it was I was going to doctor and doctor because I am the yellow one around my family. Everybody work well, but just
mm,
when we hold compare our hand together, I say, why my hand is so yellow, you know?
mm,
And I know I'm Asian, but anyway, uh, so we want to see if there is a vitamin B deficiency, but it's all check, it's all fine. So that was the big things when I changed to carnivore. I see my hand, I see my face start to have pinkish. I don't need the blush, it's already pink, which
mm,
is it indicates you are healthy, your
mm,
circulations.
mm,
And actually that was also why I go carnivore, because I have a very big concert I host at the time. I want to be very focused. I want to be my optimal performances for that specific concert. So that was a lot of pressure. If I don't didn't go carnivore, not only the pressure, I might not be able to handle it. Because I do feel when I'm in carnivore, our heart is bigger, or just be able to feel the challenge, the pressure, the there is so many noises in my background, music background, like you are not enough, you are not playing good, you are, always the noise. So that was something I can't do it when I didn't go carnivore. So I'm glad I did. And I feel, because that concert, I feel my hand be able to fluidly play, and my mental clarity be able to reach to that performance.
nice.
So that was mental and hand. And there is a dry, I always have the eczema. Sometimes people say eczema, and there are like dry lips and halitosis, and mm, bring back period finally on this January. And yeah, after 1.5 year, that's the longest period that I ever have. But so
Wait, going back. So with your menstruation, you said you missed your period for a whole year, or it was irregular for a whole year.
No, just completely gone. I feel I'm a man. I actually feel happy, I don't think have, I say maybe I'm just a guy, but I think my it's vegetable. I think
Yes.
the beforehand I ate too much vegetable
Yes.
that and less fat, which is I really decrease our hormone
Yes.
because I do feel the in terms of mood that our especially for female the hormone is very important.
Yes.
So it really takes that long to be able to slowly heal that hormone and so
Mm, very interesting. Look, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert because I'm not female myself. So I cannot relate. But I've heard of these stories, yeah, where I know Steak and Butter Gal. I think she also went through something similar as well. Bella.
yeah, she also lost period for just always very I think it's 2 years or 1 years. I think I
Wow.
watched that. And she bring back periods 1 and 2 months in within after carnivore. That's why
Wow.
I was also um went all carnivore because she say that I say okay, give it a try.
And it almost immediately, you got
No,
your, or it
after,
took a while.
yeah, it does take a year
A year. Okay. All right. A
because
year.
I
But
didn't. I'm on and off, and I when I add in fruit vegetable, that give me the alcohol craving again. And I
mm,
was performing with other two musicians, and we go to bars, and of course,
yes, of course. I know all about it. Oh
but
wow.
yeah.
Mm.
So that's what most things. But now I'm all in carnivore for gut health.
For gut health. Okay. And your gut health has improved since going carnivore, you would say?
I think so. I think it is, but just don't trigger the yogurt. I have been eating yogurt for the last few years, have not problem. But a couple days ago, I started to introduce yogurt. Not
No,
happy.
not
No happy
happy.
gut, no happy mood.
Oh. At this stage of your journey, how are you staying motivated?
Um, Now I am in a group like everybody,
Mhm.
and I try to separate the timing than regular people eating. But try to avoid that until I have heart to be able to face that.
Mm.
Um, and I'm just much happier this way. Um, there is a lot of struggle can be. Wait,
Absolutely. No, that's okay. That's fine.
there are even more challenge can face in any stages.
Absolutely.
And I do want to try. I don't know if this gonna be for me, but so far I'm feeling good. If not, if I didn't feel good, why the my circulation is better? Why I am able to do stuff? You know, there there is when I look back, if I have a choice, maybe I can be a better musician. I always in the last person in the classroom because I think our diets really change our mind, how we think, better focus. Um, so I'm all in. I'm just that's kind of my motivations to keep me on track. And I want to be able to, that's why I'm starting to go to a lot of groups, try to troubleshooting, try to know better, because everybody is all different. We need to figure out for ourselves. Everybody have different experience, but we might be able to tweak that into our own practice. So,
Oh, well, look, Aviva, I want to say to you that you are doing a great job. And I know what it's like to go through the struggle. I can speak from my experiences and say that, you know, uh, what you're feeling about, feeling amazing, I think that's enough. I think honestly, if you're doing something that makes you feel good, you keep going. And the beauty of it is, I've been in the carnivore community online. I've been in many communities for, almost 4 years now. And you, I was surprised just the amount of support that you get from strangers all around the world. I can't believe me and you are talking right now. Honestly, if you asked me 3.5 years ago, I wouldn't be talking to strangers online talking about my diet and my lifestyle. But there's just so much connection in the community. So I just want you to know as well that I've got your back. I'm here, and we've only just met. We're 30 minutes into the recording. We've only been talking, but I've got your back. Honestly, um, the support is here. Whether it's just mentally, just if you need someone to talk to, just need someone to vent, I'm here. And I think most people in the carnivore community are like this. So yeah, I think uh, you're doing a great job. Now, what does the diet look like right now, Aviva, if you don't mind sharing?
you mean what I eat in a day?
Yeah, what you eat in a day.
Beef. Although beef actually, I think that's why also part of why I gain weight, because the beef is, I got an allergy test before, and which is beef,
Okay.
salmon, eggs. Actually, those are all my food allergic, and milk.
Okay.
So I think that because after that allergic test, I cut out everything, my weight just dropped. I think that's why the inflammations in your body, it just try to, you know. So,
Mm.
but I tried the poultry for the 2 weeks, just try to experiment.
Yeah.
Just only poultry, but only a little bit beef in the morning. Funny things is, in January, I got a thick, very deep cut here.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very, very deep. And
Okay.
I think it really cut off my connected tissue. That's why it's still healing. But during that poultry phase experiment, it started to hurt like crazy. And I can see red. And I was like, I cannot play piano.
Yeah.
It just hurt. And
Mm.
so my family just say you need to put the antibiotic, or if doesn't help, you need to go to the clinic and they will prescribe you antibiotic. I always don't like to eat pill. That's why I'm here.
Mm.
That's why I want to make my health good. So I just switched to all beef, or switched to all red meat.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else. It's just much better. It will irritate, but it's not inflamed. I will know if that's inflamed, but I think it's still healing from the connected tissue. It's still something's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So red meat just doesn't inflame. So I'm focused on this now. Maybe once this is good, I will change beef to bison and maybe turkey. Just try to mix it up. Try to
Experiment.
make the, oh wait, I say turkey. No, I cannot eat turkey. Turkey make me cramp. So chicken.
Oh.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I still not be able to tolerate turkey at this moment.
Okay.
So I will mix it up just after this. But I think my weight will drop after I cut off the beef egg for a while. Yeah,
Oh, I think you know what. If the beef and egg makes you feel great, I think no need. I think the hierarchy should be your red meat anyway. So keep eating the red meat and then try adding chicken or turkey if you want. But that's a good looking diet to me. A very healthy diet.
yeah. And but eggs does makes me bumps. It's still a little
Okay,
bit. I ate a little
interesting.
bit too much couple of days ago, and it flare up with the yogurt, and then later on
Mm.
when I still adding two more eggs, it will bump a little bit more, and then when I lower over the night, it will lower down.
Oh,
How
that's
interesting! Of
very interesting. Okay,
yeah.
so that's eggs for you. Now, are there any? I guess do you add in any dairy apart from what you don't add dairy because you said you had a response to yogurt.
I did try the raw milk this January, and in the
How's that?
beginning it felt great, and
Mm,
so I got the first gallon first, and it tastes
mm,
sweet. It's like great, and I feel so satiated. So
mm.
after lunch, I have that. I just didn't feel hungry at all. Um, but after that, I just, when I go do something, I just go crazy for just all in. So after that, I think I bought 3 more gallons.
Oh,
And there is still 1/2 gallon in the freezer because they say raw milk can be freeze.
oh,
So
okay.
now I'm down to 1/2 gallon, but I do think at the end my body seems not happy for a while. So, but
Yeah.
it was a good try.
Mm, mm.
Um, because people say you might be able to tolerate raw milk, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, give it a try.
Why not? Mm. Well, I think each to their own. It's actually illegal here in Australia to have raw milk, so I'm very jealous of you. I mean, to sell it. I mean, obviously, there might be ways to get it that you know under the radar, but yeah, I have not actually tried raw dairy.
Maybe
That
sometimes
was
you come to United States.
I know. Maybe if I get enough money. No, but
Yeah.
anyways, look, your diet. I think that is awesome that you stuck through with carnivore and you've made so much improvements by the sound of things. Now going back now to a topic that I want to discuss is addiction with food. So you talked about a bit alcohol and we were talking about coffee before we went um, on this recording. If you want to, I guess, if you have a message to people about these addictions, um, what are your thoughts on helping others with this journey? Because I've talked to a lot of people and I've coached people with addictions. What are your experiences with giving up alcohol and coffee?
So, in my own experience, in my own by myself, I see
Mm-hmm.
myself. I think I'm more like a cravings, and also what I have been growing up, the background. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's take a huge things. So my father always have a little drink before bed, that's just something we feel, oh, that's high class, or, and,
Mm-hmm.
classical music is all about high class people. So a little wine there and social, you have to be able to drink to be able to in part of the social, otherwise you just do your daily life. And how much connection we need to build our business, and which is
Mm-hmm.
involve the alcohol, which is I
Mm-hmm.
see my father do that a lot of business. I went to him with, so that's kind of what I have been embedded in my brain for the alcohol. And so later on, I have a period like when I was in Chicago for my degree, I didn't have money to buy the alcohol. And so I have a little hunger for that alcohol for a while. So when I be able to drink, I just like open the door. Whoa, So that's something for alcohol, but I feel that's likely for me. It's more like my nutrition's doesn't have enough nutritions. So it's more like a mineral deficiency to create that cravings like, oh, I want that because your body like sending the signal.
Mm.
So I kind of going through that phase. When I'm adding the fruit and vegetable, I can see myself craving for pizza sometimes, and which is sometimes can also be leading by the alcohol because when we drink alcohol, I will eat a lot.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that's
Yes, yes.
usually what's the binge eating starting to come into place.
Mm.
And for sugar craving, I think I already off that since I go to keto.
Yes.
So I used to eat a lot of sweet as what I told you, but it does take a while for the willpower to come in place. And a trick I have been using that for a lot. Sometimes I still use it, which is when I see the things I feel, oh, it's very intriguing, like ice cream. I will say, I already had that specific brand. I already tried them all. I did try them all. So just imagine you already eat that, and it's just a second of joy. There is no, there is no benefit after you eat it. You know you will feel terrible. You will feel not happy for days and days. Was that worth for 2 seconds? So that's something I keep telling myself for my own self food addictions. But I try to help my sisters. She has both. Um, Not success. I don't know because when teaching your family is different things than teaching other people. So
Mm. Mm.
some
I know
things
all about it.
Mhm.
I think, that I really like that snip that you just talked about. That tip is really going to be helpful for a lot of people. Um, because the reason I bring up these, I guess, cravings and addictions is people think when they see the carnivore diet, I've heard people say, how your cravings must just go away immediately. But it actually does take time, I think. Anyway, from my personal experience, that was, even till this day, 3.5 years later, on occasions, the cravings just pop up all of a sudden. And it will be for the most stupidest things. Like I will think, oh my gosh, that slice of bread looks nice. Like I think to myself sometimes, I wish I craved something more nicer, like I don't know, like a really fancy ice cream or fancy dessert. But nope, my mind craves bread because I think what it is. This is just my thoughts on it. You're right. It's what you have got embedded in your mind. You find comfort in that food or that drink because earlier on in your life you're so used to it. You're so used to having it.
And we used to just want it, but we can't because
Yes.
we was kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And
know,
so, hmm.
when that was that was very funny. So in our tradition, we will have the a little ceremony to, for praying, or I don't know, you hold your incense for a ceremony, right?
Mm.
So there was alcohol in the front desk. I was only 34 years old, and I was the one taking the drink, and then the cheers, and then
Oh
so
wow.
that was from the very get go. I already start,
Yeah.
um. So just some things that a lot of background, what's around us, um.
Mm.
But that was something I feel
That's
very.
so funny. No, look, I mean that's a really good point because, yeah, your mind is conditioned to that path. Oh, this is something that you can't have, but you want. I was the same too. I started drinking at a young age because the men would leave their beer around, and oh, I'll just quickly, while they're not looking, have a bit of beer, and then it tastes disgusting, but the men would say, "Oh, this is a man's drink. This is a man's drink." So I thought, "Oh, this is how I can be a man. I just drink beer." And so every party, the little boys, like in my age group, we would just be drinking beer, spit it out because it tastes yuck. But because we were so conditioned in our mind to say, this would make us, more like men.
So that's also in your culture, right? Just like
Oh, in the
continuous
Philippines,
drinking.
woo, drinking, it's huge. It's huge. And I'm pretty sure it's the same in Taiwan as well.
Yeah. So how can you just be isolate? How sometimes it's just really brave to like isolate yourself, to like not be like we have the social problems that
Mm,
it's hard for us to social, right? But
mm,
now I'm more stronger that I just completely say I'm good. I bring my
yes.
own things in. I
Yeah.
think United States is more open mind, but not
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Asian.
Oh yeah. Even we can talk about this actually, the Asian culture, and when it comes to um, you know, the the culture around food. If In my experience, you're absolutely right. It is so there is a huge challenge when you are telling people about what you are eating because again, just my experience. It took me a couple of months to tell people that I went carnivore because I could not tell uncles, aunties, family friends that I stopped eating rice. Oh my gosh, when I did, oh, everyone started looking. Oh my gosh, no rice. I said, no, I haven't had rice. And even till this day, same people always, it's like they have amnesia. They don't, or they just can't believe it. So you're still not eating rice, even three years later. Oh, every time they see me, no rice. I said, yeah, I've not been eating rice for a very long time. But talk us through about the culture in Taiwan, about red meat
Yeah.
and rice.
As you know, Taiwan is so good on food. Every
Yes.
food, like crazy,
Mm.
that all the social media, all the
Hmm.
food television, it just makes your mouth
Yes.
just like,
Hmm.
but not for now for me.
Yeah.
But it just the cultural, just how it really finds how to makes you feel want the food.
Yes.
And we also influenced by Japan, which is they
Hmm.
are even better on the marketing, all the foods
Yes.
like just exquisite. Yeah. Um, but now what I'm craving when I'm go back to Taiwan is always sashimi. We have
Oh,
best fish. So
yes.
that's something I just, but there's just some things that when I'm craving, I'm just gonna eat lots of sashimi or any fish. I there. That's why when after I go keto, I went back to Taiwan
Hmm.
and I tried 30 or 40 kinds of fish in few weeks.
Wow. That
But
sounds
I
really
think
delicious.
people around me, they kind of, when they see you feeling better, when they
Mm,
see you are doing well, I think they will start to accepting it.
yes.
So
Yes.
now I'm for carnivore, maybe just waiting until the blood test, then they will see if they can accept me or not, right?
I think at the end of the day, my experience is that I don't think people care, to be honest. Once they, maybe on the conversation on that day, they might look shocked or they might, support you. Say, oh, well done, you're doing very well. Or, they might be thinking this is crazy. Um, but at the end of the day, I don't think they really care. It doesn't affect them so much, you know? I think it's a different story if you're telling everyone to say, "Hey, you need to eat carnivore. You need to be on the carnivore diet. Stop eating rice today." I think people will start looking at it differently. But I think if you just, you know, stay in your lane, stay true to yourself, it doesn't really matter because uh, you have to do what's best for you. And
Exactly. And everybody
mm,
does so differently. Some people can do well with their diet, then I'm fine.
yeah,
So
yeah,
don't judge me, right? I judge you. I
that's
didn't
right.
judge judge you to eat a carb.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't. That is such a good point. We're not judging people that they're eating a standard Western diet. Actually, in fact, I don't, I can go to a party and I can see people eating carbs, sugar. At first, it was like, I feel left out. But now it's like, you know, I think uh, what's more important is that I'm there. I'm here for my friends and family, and whether they accept it or not, it's their problem.
And
Mm.
actually, that's also stopped me from trying the restaurant. In the college, I used to
Mm.
really want to conquer all the restaurant. We have that
Oh, yes,
addiction. Like, but
yes,
now, when you go out, you can buy like whole, like half of the ribeye roll.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
which one you want to choose. You can eat for whole weeks or you want to eat for one meals of pleasure, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
sometimes it's just a little mindset shift for me to keep myself on track. Although looking at the restaurant is very fancy, but I just need 10 seconds and I will finish my food. That's it.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, and like, yeah, this goes back to the whole marketing thing, right? They make it sound so appealing that you need to go eat out. But man, if you have, honestly, I prefer eating my own steak at home compared to what I get in the restaurant. Like I'm the chef in my house. I am, I'm Gordon Ramsay in steak. Whenever I go to a steakhouse, I feel like, nah. Like
Yeah,
it
we are
tastes.
finance our skill.
We have. So it's and we don't need to add any special seasoning or sauce. We just have our own, way of cooking, and it tastes much better. So why waste $100 on a perfectly good tomahawk ribeye where I can have a cheaper cut at home and it tastes much better? You know?
We can
Mm.
still do from to table to at home, right?
Oh, even better, even more fresh as well. So
Mhm.
yes.
We have
Uh,
exactly how we wanted to make it, right? So
and talking about sashimi, or fish, I can get. Why go to a sushi restaurant when I can go straight to the fish market? I buy my own fish and I cut my own sashimi.
Yeah.
It's even more fresh, more tasty, and it's like and more cheaper. It's so much more cheaper.
Yeah.
People think, oh, carnivore diet, oh, so expensive. Always meat. Prices of meat are so high, but nah. It's much cheaper. In my experience, going carnivore has saved me money.
And I think it's all depends on the planning. I think when we go
Yeah,
carnival, we are smarter. We are planning ahead. We packaging whatever we need for the food. But for those people doesn't have the planning, they just feel it's inconvenient to eat outside.
yeah,
But of course, you can eat it at McDonald's. Like so many
yeah.
people has been working that way. So there
Mm.
is a way
There's
if you
always a
want
way.
to.
Always a way. And I'm glad to see that you are really thriving on this way of eating. Going if you guys haven't seen already or haven't been following Aviva, go follow her on her social media and just see her journey and her amazing. I have to say this: your amazing piano skills. You are a musician, definitely, and people need to listen to your tunes. Amazing stuff. Now, we are going to wrap up very soon, but a couple of questions that I do want to ask is let's give a shout out to the influencers that have helped us the most. So, who are your top, let's say, top three social media influencers that have helped you the most in your health journey?
Top three. First, for sure, steak and butter girl. That's the biggest one. And Katie Hogan. Um, I only have three. It's hard.
I know it's a tough one, isn't it?
One more. One more. One more. Uh, Dr. JV.
Wow, that's a good top three. I like it. And look, that's not to say that there's only those three that are, helpful. But the top three, I say, the people that really have influenced you in terms of, you on your journey. But that's really cool. So let's shout out Steak and Butter Girl Bella, which I'm
Yeah.
going to meet again. She's going to be here in April, so gonna see her again. I think I'm pretty sure. Anyways, Kelly Hogan, an OG, original in one of the first people in the carnival space,
Mhm.
and of course Dr. Anthony Chafee.
He
Who
has
doesn't like?
great knowledge on he because he is all in. So he really
Yeah.
dive a great information that it's true. There are
Hmm.
so many information out there. So it's just something that's a Bible to look at.
Absolutely, he is a wealth of knowledge, and he's someone that I looked up to as well. Now, um, where can people find you on social media? What are your platforms?
So my Instagram about carnivore is Aviva Tu TW, which is
Mhm.
Taiwan. So AVIVATUTW. And my YouTube channel, which is my music, is youtube.com/ at Aviva Tu.
Perfect. I'm going to link all your socials on the video description. Now, is there any final words that you want to say to people who are listening? Um, yeah, let them hear what you want to pass along.
So I think our body only sending our signal your body need to be changed. It doesn't tell you how to change it. You need to figure it out. Everybody have their own diet, fits them well. So I hope you can find your best diet and be thriving in your life.
What a perfect message. That's absolutely right. Find what's best for you. Now, Aviva, I want to say thank you so much for uh, being a guest on this podcast. You've been, very insightful, and you are someone who is, I'm sure, going to motivate a lot of people to, try this way of eating. But also, I know a lot of people can connect with you. So thank you for your very valuable time. I'm sure this won't be the last time we'll be talking. Yeah, for those who are watching, thank you for, um, you know, uh, watching this episode and, supporting this podcast. Please like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow and subscribe to Aviva's platforms, and we will see you in the next episode. See you later.